Creating a successful crowdfunding campaign is a lot more than just setting up a Kickstarter page and alerting your Facebook friends that you need money for a cool idea. Leslie Sludowski, video blogger with Biz New Orleans, says it's important to figure out what type of crowdfunding vehicle will best help you achieve your fundraising goals.
You may be surprised to learn there are different types of crowdfunding sites for different types of business ideas. You'll need to consider the size of the community the site reaches and the percentage of funds that platforms keep from each campaign. You can look at equity-based crowdfunding platforms like Fundable and Seed Invest that offer backers a share of your venture in exchange for their capital. Then there are sites that raise money for nonprofits like Causes and Razoo that lets nonprofits host a giving day. There are niche platforms like Slated that fund film projects and Experiment that finance scientific research. And you're probably familiar with sites like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and GoFundMe that allow entrepreneurs to set a fundraising goal and give a product or a service from the business in exchange for capital. And when you think about your crowdfunding goal, you need to consider if you're asking for too much or too little. Only 37% of Kickstarter campaigns are successfully funded. But Kickstarter also offers stretch goals that allow campaigns to raise additional funds above their initial target without risk of losing their donations if they do not meet the stretch goals. Now, when offering rewards for funding, you need to keep it simple. Otherwise, you'll be spending way too much time and money managing and organizing them. You can offer simple things like posting thank yous on social media or sending investors a keepsake with your business name on it. And with crowdfunding, timing is everything. Consider launching your campaign during the winter holidays. That time of year, people are in the mood to spend money, and they may feel like a donation to your project is like giving you a little present. And you should also ensure your rewards are sent to investors on a timely basis. One last tip is to develop a communications plan. Prepare your contacts for your crowdfunding campaign launch and figure out ways to motivate them to donate as soon as possible. Contact social media influencers and anyone that can help you reach a target audience of possible investors. And follow up with updates and video content, even after your campaign is done, so your contributors feel they really played a part in your success.
All right, thanks, Leslie. And you can read more about this topic and other local business stories and see Leslie's Bizcast videos at bizneworleans.com.